Good morning, everyone. Okay, so this video is going to be on finding the missing coefficients of a function. So sometimes we can be given a graph and be asked to find the function of said graph. So when we're given a graph of a function and asked to find the function, we must do the following steps. So we must find 2 points on the graph. Then what we need to do is we need to sub one of them points into the general form of the function I'm dealing with. Then I'm going to get an equation in terms of a's and b. Then I do the same thing with the second point. I get the second point, sub it back into the general form. Then I'm going to get another equation in with a's and b's. And then finally, using simultaneous equations, I solve for both a and b. And then I sub it back into my general form, and that is my equation. And again, what's the point of me telling you? I'll just show you, right? So, have a looky here. So, the diagram shows a part of the graph of the function y equals ax plus b. Find the values of a and b. So, it gives me 2 points here. It gives me minus 1, 2, and it gives me 3, minus 2. So, when x equals minus 1, y is equal to 2. So let me sub that into the general form it gave me here. So when y equals 2, x is equal to minus 1, plus b. So I'm going to get here, 2 is equal to minus a plus b. Or just kind of rewrite it there, minus a plus b is equal to 2. So there is my first equation. Then my second equation, I'm going to get by subbing the second point in. So when x equals 3, y is equal to minus 2. So minus 2 equals a times 3 plus b. So it'll be minus 2 is equal to 3a plus b. So therefore my second equation is 3a plus b is equal to minus 2. Now looky here, I have 2 unknowns and I have 2 equations with them 2 unknowns. So how am I going to figure this out? I'm going to be using simultaneous equations. Now I have a video on simultaneous equations previously back. I will link it in this video. But so we solve for simultaneous equations. So just to recap, so I have here, so minus a plus b is equal to 2 and 3a plus b is equal to minus 2. So I have a simultaneous equation here. What I need to do is I need to first pick a variable I want to cancel. And how I cancel variables is I need to make sure that my variables, I need to times one of the lines by something, or both lines by something, where the coefficients of one variable are the same, but the signs are opposite. So for example, if I want to cancel a's, I need to get this to be a minus 3a. Right, so I'm going to cancel a's first. I could cancel b's, but I'm going to be difficult and do a's. So I have a minus a plus b is equal to 2 and 3a plus b is equal to minus 2. So that's equation 1, equation 2. So I'm going to cancel out the a's in this instance. So how I'm going to cancel out the a's, I need to multiply my top line by 3. So it'd be my first line by 3. That's going to give me minus a times 3 is minus 3a. B times 3 is 3b. 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 2 times, not doing that. And then my second equation here, 3a plus b is equal to minus 2. Now I add them. So I add my first equation to my second equation. So minus 3a plus 3a is going to be 0. 3b plus b is 4b. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4b equals 4, therefore b is equal to 1 because I divide both sides by 4. So I have what b is, right? I'm not done. I need to sub that back in now to one of my original equations to get a. So in this instance, I'm just going to choose the first one because why not? So I have minus a plus 1 is equal to 2. So instead of b, it's 1. So minus a plus 1 is equal to 2. Minus a is equal to 1. A is then equal to minus 1 because divide both sides by minus 1. Right, so I have a is equal to minus 1 and b is equal to 1. So my original equation then is going to be, so if it was y was equal to ax plus b, my function here is then going to equal to y is equal to minus x, so because minus 1 times x is minus x, plus 1. And that will be my function there. And if I were to plot this out, I would be getting that as well. So that is my function there of that graphed line there. Y is equal to minus x plus 1. I can do the same thing with quadratics. So looky here, so this graph of a quadratic function f of x equal to x squared plus bx plus c is shown. Find the values of b and c, hence write down the coordinates of p and q. So let's have a looky here. So I have my 2 points. I have minus 1 and 0, and I have 4 and 5. So when x equals minus 1, y equals 0. And when x equals 4, y is equal to 5. And I need to use my function x squared plus bx plus c here. So when x is minus 1, y is equal to 0. So remember, f of x is another way of saying y. So I have 0 is equal to minus 1 all to be squared. Because remember, I'm subbing in x here. So it'll be minus 1 all to be squared because x is equal to minus 1. Plus b times minus 1 plus c. And so that's going to be equal to 0 is equal to 1 minus b plus c. Or minus b plus c is equal to minus 1. That's my first equation there. My second equation is going to be, so when y is 5, x is 4. So I'm going to have 5 is equal to 4 squared plus b times 4 plus c. 5 equals 16 plus 4b plus c. Then bring the 16 over, so 4b plus c is equal to 5 minus 16. 4b plus c is equal to minus something, minus 11. And that is my second equation. So now I'm going to be using simultaneous equations because I have two equations with two variables. So I'm going to start my second equation here. So I have minus b plus c is equal to minus 1. 4b plus c is equal to minus 11. So there's my equation 1, my equation 2. So I need to figure out, okay, which one am I going to cancel? In this instance, I think I'm going to cancel c. I'm just going to cancel c because why not? So I have a plus c and a plus c here. I need to get one of these to a minus c. So how do I do that? I multiply by a negative 1. So minus b times 1. So I'm going to do my first equation multiplied by minus 1. So minus b times minus 1 is b. C times minus 1 is minus c. Minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. That's my first equation done. And then my second equation is 4b plus c is equal to minus 11. So now I add the two together. So b plus 4b is 5b. Minus c plus c is 0. Then 1 minus 11 is equal to minus 10. So therefore, 5b is equal to minus 10. Therefore, b is equal to minus 2. Then again, I need to sub this back in now to find what c is. So I'm just going to sub it back into the first equation. So I'm going to have minus negative 2 plus c is equal to minus 1. So I'm subbing into the first equation here. Minus b plus c is equal to minus 1. So I'm going to have negative minus 2 is going to be 2. Plus c is equal to minus 1. C is going to equal minus 1 minus 2. C is going to equal negative 3. So therefore, my function of this quadratic then is going to be equal to, so f of x is equal to x squared. Bx will be minus 2x. Then plus c would be minus 3. So that is my function of that quadratic there. Then the last point here was like find the coordinates of p and q. So p here is just one of the roots. So I find that when y equals 0. And q is my y-intercept. I find that when x is 0. So I sub it in here. So p is equal, p happens when at y equals 0. So I have 0 is equal to, so remember f of x is equal to 0, x squared minus 2x minus 3. So this is solving quadratics. So two numbers that multiply to get -3 but add to get -2 is going to be, so it's going to be x -3 times x plus 1 equals 0. Let both of them brackets equal 0. So x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, x is equal to 3, x is equal to -1. So x is equal to 3, x is to -1. I go here, well, it's going to be +3 because it's over on the positive side of my x-axis, but also -1 is over here. So the coordinates of P is going to be 3, 0. And then find the value of Q. Q happens at when x equals 0, because the y-intercept. So my function here in the top right corner, x squared minus 2x minus 3. So f of x is equal to, sorry, f of 0 I should say, is equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 3. So f of 0 is equal to -3. So my y-intercept is 0 minus 3. So therefore Q, my point Q is 0 minus 3. Right? And that's the questions I could be asked on that. Then finally, the last instance here would be, sometimes I could be not given a graph, but given points. Right? So let's look at this question here. So a function g such that x maps to ax squared plus bx plus 1 defines a function. So if g of 1 is equal to 0 and g of 2 is equal to 3, write down two equations in a and b and solve these equations to find the values of a and b. So let's look at here. So since g of 1 is equal to 0, I know g of x is 0 when x equals 1, or y is 0, right, when x is equal to 1. So I'm going to have my function here, 0 equals ax squared. So it'll be a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus 1. So I'm going to have 0 is equal to a, because 1 squared is 1, 1 times a is a, plus b times 1, which is b, plus 1, which is therefore equal to a plus b is equal to -1, because I'm bringing that 1 over the equal sign here. So that's my first equation. Then my second equation, so since I know g of 2 is equal to 3, so y is equal to 3, or g of x is equal to 3 when x is equal to 2. So I have 3 is equal to a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus 1. 3 equals a times 4 plus b times 2 plus 1. 3 is equal to 4a plus b times 2 is 2b plus 1. Therefore, my second equation is going to be 4a plus 2b. Again, bring this 1 over. It's going to be 3 minus 1, which is 2. So now I have two equations, both in terms of a and b. Again, to solve simultaneously. So a plus b equals -1. 4a plus 2b is equal to 2. Which one we're going to cancel? I'm just going to cancel a, because why not? So I need to get a to have the same coefficient as 4a here. So I'm going to multiply by -4, because I want to have the same coefficient but different signs. So a times -4 is -4a. So that's my first function, that is -4. B times -4 is -4b. -1 times -4 is +4. That is my new first equation. And then my second equation just goes in the bottom here. 4a plus 2b equals 2. Again, so I'm adding these equations together. So I have 4a minus 4a plus 4a is 0. Minus 4b plus 2b is minus 2b. Then 4 plus 2 is 6. Therefore, minus 2b is equal to 6. Therefore, b is going to equal -3. Right? Because divide both sides by -2. And then again, I need to sub it in. So I'm going to sub it in now to my first equation. So a plus b is equal to -1. a plus minus 3 is equal to minus 1. So a minus 3 is equal to minus 1. A equals minus 1 plus 3. A is going to equal 2. So when a equals 2 and b is minus 3. So therefore, my function is going to be equal to g of x is going to be equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. And that is going to be my original function there. Right, okay, bit of a longer video than I expected, but hopefully them 3 examples some sort of helped. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Okay, bye.